gelatinous substance used to style hair. A product that is applied to wet hair to aid in the styling process. A semi-solid material with characteristics ranging from soft and brittle to strong and tough. These are just some of the ways people traditionally describe hair gel. Interestingly enough, as of late, a particular quality has been attached to certain brands of gels, and it's one that's left me perplexed. Additionally, gel has become a main focal point within the complicated web of a viral internet scandal. How can hair gel be scandalous, you ask? Well, all you have to do is label it GHETTO and attach it to 3 words. 3 words that are harmless separate, but according to the mainstream media, controversial when put together. Hot Cheeto Girl. So how did a simple product like hair gel get pulled into a drama starring young women in the term Hot Cheeto Girl? Well, let's go back in time a little. In the summer of 2022, a trend began to flood the For You page of TikTok. Point of view, you're a retired hot Cheeto girl. Quick side note, the For You page is basically TikTok's version of recommending a video you might be interested in, except it's handpicked for you based on what you choose to watch and interact with. Artificial intelligence picks out videos for you, and if you're not interested in what they recommend to you, you can swipe up. As I stated before, a trend titled Point of View, You're a Retired Hot Cheeto Girl became very popular to post early summer of 2022. The trend showcased young women using pictures of what they look like currently with the words Point of View, You're a Retired Hot Cheeto Girl written somewhere across the video, while the intro to the song Follow Me by Vina E plays in the background. As the video continues on and the chorus of the song begins to play, the pictures change to videos and pictures of these young women looking completely different. And apparently that different look they were showcasing in the videos and pictures was that of a hot Cheeto girl. These after images often consisted of these young women wearing high buns, cornrows, or as Kim Kardashian infamously called them, boxer braids, baby hairs, hoop earrings, etc. And viewers quickly took notice of this, which led to swift and immediate backlash. Many left comments stating things like, ghetto? Ghetto because you put your hair in a bun? I'm confused. Thank you for mocking Black women. Side-eye, cultural appropriation, and this trend is not sitting right with me at all. Many people viewed this trend as being demeaning to Black and Latina women, and some took to their TikTok accounts to express their feelings about this trend.
You know, Black culture is a beautiful thing, and it encompasses so many things that we don't realize is Black culture. Pieces of our culture are mimicked and costumed until they are no longer good enough for you. Black people with acrylics have always been demonized. Black people who like sneakers have always been demonized. When you come out of your hot Cheeto girl phase, it is because that phase was a costume to you. I'm gonna use me as an example. I don't talk white, and I've been told that before. I speak like a Black woman because I am a Black woman. This is how I speak. But far be it from me if I sit here and tell you that the way that I speak is not a result of cultural assimilation that we have to do to survive. I'm glad your phase is over, though.
Y'all seriously made a trend talking about when I used to be a hot Cheeto girl. I'm sorry, aka when I used to want to be Black, but now I act like I'm white. I'm clicking on the sound and going through the videos, and all the pictures are them with braids, them with hoop earrings, them with they booty poking out, or like I'm trying to figure out what. When we say y'all only get braids because y'all want to be Black, y'all swear that's not what y'all doing. But then y'all make a trend saying, oh, when I went from being a ghetto hot Cheeto girl to a regular girl, when I went from being Black to white, and all the braid pictures are in the ghetto hot Cheeto girl beginning part. Y'all telling y'allself every time.
Unbeknownst to many, This is not the first time this trend or trends similar to this one has popped up on the internet. In 2021, you could find videos titled, "Heard we are calling all retired hot Cheeto girls. Viewers better stop testing me, I'm a retired hot Cheeto girl." And in 2020, videos titled, "Watch me grow out of my hot Cheeto girl phase" could easily be found online. You can also find creators talking about this trend being toxic, but maybe it didn't pick up as much traction because there weren't as many people on the TikTok platform in 2020 and 2021 as 2022. And despite the backlash that many of these young women faced, there was some pushback against the backlash. Some viewers did not think that this trend was problematic at all, but just a way of reminiscing about a particular time in society when it was trendy to act in a hot Cheeto girl manner. Many of the individuals creating and posting these videos often looked at their past actions as embarrassing, cringy, or humiliating, completely dissociating their current selves from their hot Cheeto girl past. You can even see comments relating to the shame they feel about having been a hot Cheeto girl by the comments many TikTokers left in the comment section under this trend. Comments like, "You couldn't waterboard this out of me," a phase we don't talk about. The fact that I would wear hoops too, cry face emoji, and try to do my edges. You should have seen me before. You wouldn't have wanted to be close to me. I went through this. So embarrassing. One comment even said, "See, I liked hot Cheetos like a lot, but I never went through this." And a person participating in this point of view, "I'm a retired hot Cheeto girl" trend commented back, "I was in a bad place and I was uneducated." These young women felt as though they were scrutinizing themselves and putting themselves out there to be dragged and ridiculed by participating in this trend, kind of like being open and honest about a dark past. But why were there so many young girls across the United States behaving in this manner in the first place? Why would so many young girls suddenly decide one day that this was who they truly are and what they were meant to be? Was it something in the air? Was it something in the water? Or was there something more nefarious at hand? Before we dive deeper into this topic, I would like to point out a few culturally significant events that took place within the United States and may have played a significant role in influencing young women to take on a hot Cheeto girl aesthetic. In 2017, something happened that would change the music world forever. For the first time in history, hip-hop and R&B became the most popular genre of music, pushing rock into second place. According to an article written by XXL Mag, the culture of hip-hop was initially thought to be a fad, with many naysayers predicting that rap would not sustain its popularity and eventually die out. But exactly the opposite has happened, with rap music becoming the most influential and dominant musical genre among the youth. Further evidence of rap and urban culture taking over the mainstream. While streaming numbers continue to rise, metrics indicate that rap's stronghold on pop culture and America as a whole won't end anytime soon. The explosion in popularity of hip-hop and R&B also led to Black American culture being consumed at rates we've never seen before. The exportation of this culture was happening at such a rapid pace thanks to the internet age, and you couldn't go online without taking notice. We also saw an influx of white female rappers pouring into the rap scene, some of who had begun their career prior to 2017 and others who started after 2017. Either way, we had never seen so many white female rappers ever in history. Although hot Cheetos have been around for quite a bit of time, for some reason its popularity reached insane new heights in recent years. According to a video posted by CNBC Make It, Flamin' Hot flavor snacks saw a 150% increase in sales from 2018 to 2019. One reason for the brand's growth is its strategic approach to marketing its spicy snacks. One thing I noticed about the Flaming Hot brand is that it often, but not always, takes on an urban hip-hop style of marketing. In 2019, Chester, their official mascot, dropped a diss track, and in 2021 and 2023, the brand hired female rapper Megan Thee Stallion to be featured in their commercials, further leaning into an urban hip-hop aesthetic. And despite warnings from doctors about hot snacks in general, and California attempting to ban hot snacks altogether, it continues to be one of the most popular snacks across the United States, especially among the youth. In recent times, the baddie aesthetic has become one of the more popular standards of beauty people choose to follow. Many women of all ages, from all races, and from various economic backgrounds have been drawn to this aesthetic, especially young women and teens. It has had a huge impact on the way many women dress, walk, talk, and even how women who wish to fit into this aesthetic style their hair. Some ladies will even go as far as making life-altering decisions to fit into this aesthetic, like changing their careers, going under the knife to have certain baddie procedures, dating and marrying certain types of men, changing their hobbies and picking out friends, all based on the baddie aesthetic. This behavior is also known as baddie culture. I have previously talked about this topic in a video titled Baddie Culture and its Toxic Chokehold on the Hair Industry Today. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. Many women who partake in baddie culture have become very famous online, and we often see other women trying to replicate that fame, attention, and financial opportunities by copying their looks. Interestingly enough, these women's looks tend to draw most of their inspiration from many different parts of Black American culture, including but not limited to hip-hop and R&B, which has led to an increase in public discourse surrounding topics about blackfishing and cultural appropriation. For many online users, the popularity of short-form content seemed to have appeared out of thin air. Suddenly, well-established brands like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram were heavily pushing it in our faces. Many people believe that the move towards short-form content is due to the unexpected popularity of TikTok, but that's only partially true. You see, short-form content as we know it today has been around for quite a bit of time. In 2013, the short-form content app by the name of Vine was created and would later become insanely popular. In 2014, the app Musical.ly was founded. According to a HuffPost article, Musical.ly was a free social media app that lets you watch, create, and share videos, often to a soundtrack of the top hits in music, right from your phone. At the height of its popularity, millions of teens were using this app. Musical.ly would later on become what we now know as TikTok. Another popular short-form content app launched in 2014 were the apps Dubsmash and Funimate. According to commonsensemedia.org, Dubsmash was a short video creation app that primarily featured lip-syncing and dancing, much like TikTok. And Funimate is a smartphone application that enables users to create looping videos and animations with integrated music and text. Apps like these played a pivotal role in changing how people interact on the internet, especially young kids and teens. It additionally changed the way young people communicated with one another. They would use these apps to communicate their thoughts and opinions on an assortment of topics, often using music, pictures, lip syncing, slideshows, and imagery to do so. These apps were also used to start internet beefs, rivalries, and to throw shade, which often led to real-life consequences. Additionally, they helped to determine what style was in and what wasn't. The sound portion of these apps helped blast seemingly obscure artists into fame. And lastly, some would even use these social media platforms to express a romantic interest that they may have in another person. This behavior would carry on for years and explains many of the social media trends we now see dominating current day TikTok. In September of 2016, an episode of an American daytime television show would unexpectedly go viral, completely taking the internet by storm. The program, called The Dr. Phil Show, was a TV show that helped individuals within the United States solve societal and familial issues. The host of the show, Dr. Phil, would offer advice in the form of life strategies from his life experience as a clinical and forensic psychologist to guests he featured on the show. For this particular episode, Dr. Phil had invited a mother who had reached out by email for help with her child, Danielle. In the 42-minute video aired on September 14th, 2016, the show attempted to address and redirect Danielle's behavior in front of a live audience, which led to a short back and forth between the young lady and the seated viewers, where she would utter the words that would become globally recognized. "Catch me outside, how about that?" Clips of the show were quickly circulated online, gaining hundreds of thousands of views within a short period of time. Hundreds of memes and musical remixes of the phrase "catch me outside, how about that?" were uploaded on all social media platforms. As a result, Danielle, who was just a young girl of 13, had reached an insane level of fame that she and her family never expected. By early 2017, Danielle's notability continued to grow thanks to people constantly using her "catch me outside" phrase. Rappers use the phrase to gain traction to their new songs. Dance challenges to "catch me outside" remixes became popular on all social media apps, including short-form ones, and Danielle was even invited to film with popular YouTubers. Later on that same year, Danielle would start a rap career as Bhad, dropping her first hit on August 30th, 2017, titled "These Hoes." For Danielle, becoming a rapper might have just been the next business move to capitalize off of her time on the Dr. Phil show. But for many of the teens, tweens, and little girls watching across the country, bhad had become the blueprint to the ultimate it girl, and they wanted in. Seemingly overnight, we began to see a shift in many of these young people's behavior. In March of 2017, one mother was even featured on the Ask Steve segment of a popular Steve Harvey television show with a concern about her daughter, stating, and I quote, "So here's my situation. I have an 11-year-old daughter who has been watching the internet a lot, and she has become infatuated with a girl named Danielle from the Dr. Phil show whose catchphrase is 'catch me outside, how about that?'" Steve Harvey briefly interjected, commenting, "Oh, y'all saw that? The little hood chick? Excuse me, the one that thinks she's hood. Not really hood though." Then the mother continued on saying, "So my daughter follows her. She's 11. She follows her on Instagram, on all the social medias. And anytime I ask my 11-year-old to do anything, as simple as cleaning her room to walking the dog, she says, 'Catch me outside, how about that?' How do I deal with this? I don't want this to be her role model. She's 13 and just got kicked off an airplane." This phenomenon would continue as Bhad's career began to grow bigger. Something that was very noticeable about Danielle early on was her thick accent from a particular part of Florida, which her mother stated that she picked up from the streets, and her style, which pulls heavily from particular parts of Black American culture despite being third-generation Italian American and Jewish. When, where, and why did she begin to echo certain aspects of Black American culture in her presentation is unclear, but the fact that she displayed this appearance became just as important as her persona for the teens, tweens, and little girls who followed her. We began to see mass emulation of Bhad's public image, from the way she styled her hair, to the clothes she wore, down to her accent and colorful choice of language. All this was done to obtain the new popular cool girl image spreading across the web. So if you combine all these events together, Bhad, Catch Me Outside, and going viral online, the rise of short-form content, baddie culture becoming a leading aesthetic, hot Cheetos going viral, and hip-hop and R&B becoming the #1 genre of music, what you'll get is the most optimal environment for the development of the hot Cheeto Girl prototype. All these things help to manufacture what is now infamously known as the hot Cheeto Girl stereotype. I'm sure there are many more minor events that may have helped to create the hot Cheeto Girl stereotype, but it would be impossible to list them all. I would love to hear from you all though. What do you think helped create this stereotype? Let me know in the comment section down below. So what exactly is a hot Cheeto girl? According to Urban Dictionary, a hot Cheeto girl is in at least one of your classes. She always has Takis, hoops, Thrasher sweatshirt, edges, acrylics, and Vans. She is always trying to fight people in the bathroom. Her common phrases are best friend and period. Your average ghetto girl. the chola reinvented. She is loud, disruptive, and mean, but deep down she means well, and will most likely share her hot Cheetos or Takis with you if you ask nicely. Hot Cheeto girls use a generous amount of hair product to tame their hair and lay their edges. They use fake eyelashes and heavy makeup, focusing mainly on their thick, drawn-on Kylie Jenner style eyebrows. Hoop earrings, facial piercings, and long acrylics are a must. Did they steal this from their local Walgreens, or did their weed dealer boyfriend buy her all this stuff? It's hard to say. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's EBT. She wears skinny jeans from the Ross clearance section and has a collection of lower end body sprays from Victoria's Secret or Bath & Body Works in her purse. She will be spraying that on herself throughout the entire day, creating an intoxicating aroma of hair product, heavily scented body lotion, and $20 body spray. Cardi B is the mature age hot Cheeto girl. Kylie Jenner, the trashy rich nice hot Cheeto girl with mixed race kids. Bhad Bhabie is the white hot Cheeto girl. Despite the downvotes this definition received on the Urban Dictionary site, it seems like a lot of people would agree with it. If you take a look at the trend where people were posting cartoon edits, which is an internet fad where online users edit cartoons into common stereotypes, many of the hot Cheeto girl edits feature quite a bit of attributes written in the Urban Dictionary definitions. To further emphasize these generalities, people created hot Cheeto girl starter packs. And starter packs are basically a trend where people online group together images of things or behaviors that make up a certain stereotype. Many of the starter packs featured hot Cheetos or a spicy snack of some kind, behaviors such as eating during class, screaming in the morning, and using AAVE vernacular, hoop earrings, intricate nails, long lashes, and lip gloss. Some of these packs went further into detail and showcased hot Cheeto girl attributes based on race. To my surprise, commenters believed that these descriptions were very accurate, leaving comments like, "The white ones always have a messy bun on top and pajama pants are always Cookie Monster. You forgot the reflective lip gloss. I've only met one hot Cheeto girl and she is one of the nicest people I ever met, but the drama follows her like the wrapper of her last packet blowing in the wind. Florida and ATL." To which someone responded, "I'm not even kidding, like 70% of the girls at my high school were like that in Florida." Some people did call out how inappropriate these starter packs were, writing, "Nobody's saying it, so I just want to call out the low-key racism on the right. Like they really wrote black mixed or Hispanic, like one step away from assorted browns." One particular thing that drew my attention were the hairstyles mentioned or showcased in the hot Cheeto girl definitions and memes. A sleek bun with elaborate placed baby hairs, a sleek bun with a gigantic puff, a sleek bun with afro puffs, side swoop with a sleek top knot bun, side swoop with a sleek low afro puff, swoop bangs with a ponytail, and sleek braided ponytails. Every one of these styles displayed are often worn by Black and Latina women, teens, tweens, and kids within the United States. In fact, they have been worn for decades. Additionally, despite many of these hairstyles becoming commonly worn in urban communities, they have no ties to any socioeconomic class. They also do not have any stereotypes or behaviors associated with it. That means that you can find a lot of middle-class, rich women, teens, tweens, and kids sporting these looks as well. The reason behind this has to do with the low barrier to entry surrounding these hairstyles. They are affordable, cute, easy to learn, and work as excellent protective styles for coily and curly hair types. Depending on age, the hairstyles take on a more childlike, exaggerated manner, with young kids using colorful beads, rubber bands, and intricate braid patterns to adorn themselves with, or a more serious manner where adults might go for a more toned down, sophisticated look. But the core styles remain the same. In order to create these styles, all you really need is hair gel in a spritz bottle. The more curly or coily the hair is, the more hair gel and water is applied to perfect the style. Certain gel brands were relatively cheap to buy for decades, and they worked on a wide range of curl patterns, especially the coils on the tighter end of the spectrum, which is why they were frequently used. But if you refer back to the memes I previously showcased, these hairstyles and hair gels are being heavily tied to this hot Cheeto girl stereotype. thus being deemed low class and ghetto by association, which is really sad because just a couple of years ago, when hip hop and R&B became the most popular genre of music and Black American culture was being heavily consumed and exported, these hairstyles were being heavily consumed and exported as well. They were so popular that they would rake in millions of views on apps like YouTube and Pinterest because many children and teens wanted to know how to emulate these hairstyles. Videos on how to layer edges were extremely popular as well. The gel companies that sold their products predominantly to Black and Latina women of the inner cities began to quickly expand due to their newfound popularity. There are even rumors of companies altering their gel formulations because the original gel might have been too heavy and thick for many of the new consumers purchasing their products. Some young girls had trouble recreating these hairstyles on themselves because their hair was straight, which is why many of them would lay their baby hairs, slick up their ponytails, and then tease their buns to mimic how the hairstyle looked on curly, coily hair types.
I am so glad you said this, because this is my biggest pet peeve. The hot Cheeto girls, this is what they're trying to do. Afro, puff, high pony, this is what they're trying to mimic. Boom, this hairstyle. But obviously, their hair don't have volume, so they rat it up. And they ball it up. Like this. And this. And this. And this. And it looks so interesting. It looks like
It's very disheartening to see that just a few years later, these hairstyles and hair gels that were internationally popular and fervently sought after are now being discarded and looked down upon, with many people being accused of being a hot Cheeto girl for simply styling their hair in this manner. This is why the retired hot Cheeto girl trend is so problematic, because for those who still actively carry or wear certain attributes that align with the hot Cheeto girl stereotype, they are often mercilessly judged and ridiculed solely based on their physical appearance. I think many people knew this was going to happen because a couple of years ago, the conversation surrounding cultural appropriation took the national stage. Many people took it as people complaining or being annoying for no reason at all, but I think it may have been a strong reaction against the rise of the hot Cheeto girl, and maybe this was an attempt to prevent a hot Cheeto girl stereotype from existing in the first place. Let me know what you think down below. Furthermore, the retired hot Cheeto girl trend exposes another serious issue, the issue of ever-changing personalities and personas. Every few months, there is a new popular aesthetic taking the internet by storm, seemingly appearing out of thin air and quickly dominating our feeds. Clean girl, soft girl, vanilla girl, coquette girl, coconut girl, old money girl, downtown girl, Pilates princesses, trad wife aesthetic, mob wife aesthetic. The list goes on and on. At first glance, many of these trends seem fun, new and exciting. But if you take a closer look, there's something not quite right. What starts off as just a niche group of individuals or a singular individual with an interesting aesthetic going viral often leads to hundreds and even thousands of women, teens, tweens, and girls quickly emulating this new viral it girl blueprint. They change the way they dress, the way they style their makeup, nails and hair, their furniture, accessories, the way they eat, the way they drink, the way they speak, doing their absolute best to embody these trends to their utmost ability, never once considering their personal taste, cultural background, ethnicity, and self-identity in the process. After a couple of months or in a few years, when brand new aesthetics become more trendy than the one they're trying to currently imitate, many of these ladies will completely dump everything related to their current look and quickly pivot to the next viral it girl blueprint, creating a revolving door of ever-changing personalities and personas. This is exactly the same cycle many of these young women, teens, tweens, and girls went through when they became a hot Cheeto girl and then retired from the hot Cheeto girl aesthetic. This also leaves me with a lot of questions. Like, what exactly is driving so many of these individuals to pick up this behavior? And did their years-long attempt at becoming a hot Cheeto girl or hood ghetto girl actually open the doors to constantly switching out personalities and personas like they are changing clothes? And what happens to your sense of self if this behavior continues on into your late 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, never being able to gracefully evolve, and always just abruptly becoming a new person every 2 to 3 years. What happens then? It certainly can't be good for your mental health. I recently came across an interview from 1991 that I think would add to this topic. On December 12, 1991, the world-famous model Iman was invited onto the Arsenio Hall show. During the interview, Iman talked about her experience as the first Black woman to represent world-renowned makeup brands. During this conversation, she touched on the topic of Blackness being trendy within the United States, stating, "I have a problem with how things are in the United States now, because it's like very chic to be Black, or to be even mulatto these days. In the fashion industry, they have girls having collagens put in their lips to make their lips look bigger. All of a sudden, to look Black, or even half Black, sounds like it's the biggest thing. It's in, it's chic, you know. But then the problem becomes, is it a fad? Or is it going to be here for a couple of, and then is it going to die? You know what I'm saying? So there's a problem of like, how far are we going and how far have we come? Even in 1991, Iman was able to observe how women were donning on attributes seen on Black people and how these attributes were at risk of being discarded later on down the line, which is exactly what happened in our current day and led to the hot Cheeto Girl stereotype we are talking about right now. Will we continue to see this behavior in the future and in more extreme forms? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I will see you next time on Dynamic Touch.